You guys did very, very well. Remember that Jukido Jiu-Jitsu is a martial art, right? So that art part is important because, yes, the art is built on a curriculum, and there are set techniques, and there's a right way and a wrong way to do a technique. And that all of that is 100% true. But at the end of the day, once you have some of that in your bones, and you're always refining it, so what's in your bones is more and more refined over time. But you do have to develop a certain sensitivity, kind of the glue between the techniques. Things like what we worked on in the beginning. In one sense, what did we work? A block and a what? A counter strike. And while that's true, what were we really working on? It wasn't that you weren't working on a block and a strike. You definitely were. On one level, you absolutely were. But on another level,
your awareness in space.
Your awareness, your spatial awareness, the habit of having your hands up. Where do I keep my eyes? And those are things that are universal, that are not tied to this block and this strike. Does that make sense? So your sensitivity to pressure, where is Kuzushi? Where is their weight? Where is my weight? How do I turn my shoulders to have a stronger structure? How do I give way when I need to give way? These are all things that you cannot practice by kind of route, where you just go, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 1, step 2, step 3. That's a part of training, but you also have to sometimes, once you have some of this within you, you have to kind of liberate yourself. When you learn, how many of you have ever studied a different language? When you start studying a language in most language learning programs, what happens? I start taking Spanish or French. What happens on day 1, week 1? What start? Yes. Okay, maybe alphabet. Alphabet's like a kata, right? There's an exact C never comes before A. That's a kata. Okay.
You get preset phrases.
Preset phrases. The cat is black. The cat is black. The car is red. The boy cooks dinner, whatever, right? There's these little core phrases and sentences that I'm learning. And that's great. But at the end of the day, if I really want to speak Spanish, at some point, I don't have to be a professor of Spanish, but a 2-year-old child learning language, right? At some point, they just have to kind of go out there and play and speak and mispronounce something and get corrected. Maybe that correction in Jiu-Jitsu is you get a little smack in the head. Or you try a pressure point and it's not in the right spot, so they crank your head a little harder. Or whatever. But you realize, oh, I'm making a mistake. I'm not communicating my idea or my technique effectively. Yes. But it's hard to do that with the cat is black. The cat. At some point you have to, and the cat and the black have to be liberated from that little sentence and just immersed into the language. And so if we think of Jukido Jiu-Jitsu, if we think of our Jiu-Jitsu as a language, you have to be able to not just say words, not just say little phrases. You have to be able to articulate ideas. You have to, fighting is a form of physical debate. I think I'm going to kill your family. I don't think you are going to kill my family. Let's have this physical debate. Let's see who wins. I think I can articulate my ideas upon you better than you can articulate your fighting ideas upon me. Well, we're going to find out. This? Yes. The bodyguard example I used earlier, right? Someone tries to attack the executive or this diplomat or whatever, right? I think I'm going to go kill that diplomat. The security team says, I don't think you are going to kill the diplomat. I think you're going to die if you try hard enough. And one of those things is probably going to end up being true. Or some compromise position. Maybe they arrest him. Right? But they're going to have that physical engagement. They can't pre-decide what techniques they're going to do because they don't know when the attack is going to happen. Is it 2 attackers, 1 attacker? Is it a pipe bomb? Is it a gun? Is it just a wild guy with a knife? Is he coming from the stand? I don't know. And maybe in training, what do these guys probably do? A lot like Navy SEALs. They go through 100 different scenarios. But in reality, I'm sure that what happens on the field is not precisely, exactly 100% what happened in the training scenario. The idea of having 100 different training scenarios is to just give you so many different looks that in the moment, you've had so many different looks, so many different feels, so many different tactics and techniques that have been developed, that in the moment, you can just speak that physical language and make it happen. Whoosh. Sir.
It's part of that exercise too, just to kind of realize that there is a single hook that addresses all of it in the beginning.
What do you mean?
Like, we were doing all these like poster stuff.
Yes.
There's a variety of strikes required that if I'm here, I can address. So I mean, you throw a bunch of different scenarios where you're realizing that the initial response, like that oh shit reaction, is a response that you can get through. You techniqueify, as you said, but that's kind of a hub that
You're saying like this literal position?
or any of the different scenarios. I know we've done drills before where there's a bunch of different scenarios, but it also comes back to if you get to that, or if it's controlling the head, get into a hook in a spot. Where however I got it doesn't matter, I'm getting to that spot.
So I think if I'm understanding, I might be misunderstanding. I don't think that there's, I wish I could tell you that there was one singular, this is the place to be or to get to. I actually think that's kind of the folly of some martial art approaches, right? Some of our jujitsu cousins, no matter what, the fight has to go to the ground. Yeah, but what if there are 3 dudes? What if something goes down in an airplane? You pull guard in an elevator with the guy with a knife? That doesn't discount that there may be scenarios where the exact right thing to do is to take this guy to the ground. But what I'm saying is, it could be a detrimental thought as well, right? Maybe I train a 41-year-old soccer mom, and she goes to a boxing gym. She's all she knows how to throw hands, right? You think NFL linebacker dude grabs her? 41-year-old soccer mom is just with her boxing exercise class is gonna get the job done? Probably not. Hugo Camacho punches you in the head, he might get the job done, right? But what's that guy we always talk about hypothetically from that show? The Mountain. You know that guy? The Mountain, right? You're gonna duke it out with that guy? Probably. That might be a guy who I need to grab a leg, hook his leg, take him down, and drown this guy, right? But every scenario is different. So what does that mean? There are definitely certain positions of advantage that you'd like to gravitate to in a fighting situation. There are definitely certain ranges of distance, hey man, that I'd like to be at. Or here. I don't want to be with the Mountain here having a hockey fight. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not any one thing, but there are a whole set of positions that we can think about that way, right? Like we think of the guard and the groundwork. That's a type of hub. But and that's a good thing, that if and there's a lot of ifs here, if you must be on the ground and if you must be on the bottom, then this is the best place to be, assuming all those ifs are true. But we can also develop a situation where I get so spar heavy with the guard that what I try to do, I misorder things. So now what am I looking for all the time? Submissions from the guard, right? What should be true is priority 1, stand back up. Priority 2, if I can't stand up, sweep, reverse the position, get on top of him. If I can't stand and I can't reverse, then I might look to strike, to submit. And then if one of those other opportunities open up, I'll stand right back up or I'll get on top of this guy. But I'm not looking to jujitsu him from the bottom in a real fighting situation. Right? But that doesn't discount that being in that guard at a particular time in combat might be, at that moment, the best hub that you can be at for the moment. But I don't want to get stuck where, oh, I've achieved this position, I'm safe. Not if you're using your guard or not. Right? You understand what I'm saying? So you have to, again, it's that that flexibility to move. Right? So a hub might be like, if you're on the ground, the psychological hub is priority is stand, right? Stand, strike, sweep, then submit. Not sit here and play the submission game. That's maybe fun with your friends on a Saturday in the dojo in self-defense. That's it. You're right. You're doing your jujitsu in a frame, in a box, a gamified box. But when it's serious business out in the real world, you want to make sure that your martial arts filters are developed for that, as opposed to develop for, can I tap on all my friends in the dojo and feel good about myself? let's take 2 minutes for water. Let's-